So Harriet and I are kind of freaking out about two different things here. I'm freaking out about whether the compass should have east on one side or west on the other, and Harriet's freaking out about whether her last name should be Harriet M or Harriet M period. And she's asking her parents, Mom, Dad, am I Harriet M period Welsh or Harriet M no period Welsh? She says, I need to know now. Her parents answer at the same time, but they got two different answers. Dad says, just M, no period, and Mom says, why, M period, of course. And then they look at each other very nervously. And Harriet looks nervous too. Mom says to her husband, it's supposed to be M period because, well... And Dad says, no, it's just M, no period. It's a little bit confusing looking at the closed captions on this because we do see a period at the end of M because Dad just said, no, it's just, quotes, M, period, unquotes. But the period is there because that's the end of his sentence. N-O, comma, I-T apostrophe S, J-U-S-T, quotes, M, period, unquote, N-O-P-E-R-I-O-D, period. That's what the closed caption says, but what he's really saying is, no, it's just M, no period. Now Harriet's really freaking out. She says, how do you two not know? You gave me my name! Mom says, well, it's complicated. Dad says to her, we need to tell her, Carol. Were her parents' names confirmed in the book? No, I'm not seeing a Carol anywhere. Alright, so Harriet's parents have been keeping a secret from her. What is this? Dad lets out a big exhale and says, you see, Harriet, when I was filling out your birth certificate, we didn't want to give you a middle name. And now we see a flashback to when Harry was first born. Oh my goodness! Her parents look about the same there, but this is the hospital scene, by the way. And Mr. Welsh takes off his glasses and puts them on little baby Harriet. Oh my goodness gracious, that's adorable! And that just puts a sweet little smile on baby Harriet's face. She's got a tiny little tuft of blonde hair right at the top there. I wonder if that's why Harriet enjoys wearing her dad's old broken glasses so much. Her dad continues, but then we had a little glitch. There's the certificate, says New York State birth. It says Harriet and W for Welsh. There's the 3 lines going down the middle for the E, but he's having some trouble with his pen. The pen's a little dry, he can't get the ink going. And then we can't see exactly what he's putting on there because the camera's facing up towards his face with the birth certificate being right underneath the view with the pen up close like that. And then he finishes writing it. Dad continues his story. I didn't think anything of it, but apparently they put the little scribble into the system as an M, no period. He gives his wife a serious look, proving that he was right all along. Okay, so long story short, her dad was filling out the birth certificate and put a little scribble between Harriet and Welsh, and the people at City Hall thought the scribble was an M. Interesting. So, that doesn't really contradict anything in the book, because Old Golly simply said, you know, you have no middle name, Harriet, and then Harriet just says that she likes calling herself Harriet M. Welsh, but they never confirmed where the M came from. Until now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the M was a scribble. How big are your eyes now? As big as Harriet's? Probably not. Her eyes are open wide. And then she freaks. So, I'm a scribble! 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 And it echoes. And back to the fancy museum. The green robot says, her middle name was really an M. Scribble? The blue guy says, it's no wonder she never amounted to much of anything. Tour guide bot says, not like the greatest writer president in the history of the known universe. Let me guess, Miss Hawthorne. Yep. Oh, wow. There she is, sitting up at the president's desk with the 2 flags on either side of her and that big eagle picture behind her. And then on the hologram, Marion says, Marion Angelina Hawthorne. And I don't think that was in the book either. The Angelina part. Was it? Nope. Apple TV added that too. But it works. Wow, that's a very triangular phone that Marion's got on her desk there. Like the thing that the receiver sits on, you know? With the swirly wire. It is a push-button phone, though. Were push-button phones around in the 60s? If they were, they must have just been invented. Because I imagine Harriet could imagine that as a very futuristic thing, because they became more popular in the 70s. Miss Hawthorne's hologram continues. In Greek, Angelina means messenger and angel. Then everybody in the museum starts cheering, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, and then all the holograms that had previously shown Harriet's face switch to Marion. We flash back to reality and Harriet says, "Why didn't you try to fix it?" And Mom says, by the time we figured it out, I guess we decided we liked the M, so we kept it. Her dad says it's really not as bad as you think. Well, Mr. Welsh, you have no idea how bad your daughter thinks it is. Harriet's reply is a little shocking, though. She says, "You're right. It's worse." She says, "I can't be a writer with a scribble for a middle name." And then she sees Old Golly walking in carrying groceries. She says, "Old Golly, what's your middle name?" And Old Golly says, "Willa, like Willa Cather, the writer." I wonder what Willa wrote. Willa Cather. She wrote My Antonia in 1918, as well as Death Comes for the Archbishop in 1927. Never heard of either of those. And there's no sign of Willa in the book either. So Apple TV's really filling in a lot of blanks with this show. I guess if people are really diehard fans of the original book, they might actually appreciate some of the details in this episode. So Old Guy's middle name is Willa, huh? And Harriet thinks, now that is a beautiful middle name, and then she runs off to her room. Then Mom and Dad look at each other. They're kind of upset now. They don't know what to do about this situation.